The Action Factory course is a course that is certified and accredited by us, the International Coaches Register. Now, what we do basically is we certify people in industries that aren't regulated by government. As you know, and I'm sure you found it as well, is that many people say they are life coaches, whatever coach they call themselves, and purely just based on the fact that they are 60 years old, they believe that they can be a life coach, they've had kids, they know how to handle kids, they know how to raise kids. That's not what it's about. I mean, you know it's a lot more than just that. So for you to find work and grow your practice, that's why we are there to assist you, not in finding the work, but in certifying you to show that your credentials are good enough to people out there that you do actually know what you're talking about. So once you've done the course with Dion, you're welcome to apply with us. Dion will give you links. I'm not going to talk too long because I'm sure it's a lot of information on ICR. But one of the links that Dion will provide you with is it's an hour-long webinar where we explain in detail exactly what ICR is, how it works, and how to apply. We're going to address that as well. But in short, once you've completed the course, you're welcome to apply with us. If you meet all the criteria, which I'll give to you now, you are certified, you get a certificate, and you can actually add logos and everything to your stationery on email and sell yourself or market yourself as a fully certified or an associate certified coach. And that's very important in today's sort of time. I think there's a lot of people out there now that really need coaches, really need life coaches, career coaches. We see on our side a lot of queries coming through at the moment for career and life coaches. So yes, I think you're at the right place. Now, just to explain to you and go back a little bit, ICR Coaches register as part of a bigger picture we call Global Network Group based in Netherlands. We've got quite a few offices, and if I say offices, most of it is virtual offices throughout the world. My responsibility is South Africa and Asia, Sub-Saharan Africa, but we're also moving into Australia and all the other regions as well. So to open up doors for you there so that you can actually work there. Now, one of the big things is being registered with us versus some of the other local bodies in South Africa. And I'm not going to mention names because we've got no problem with the way they work or what they do. But if you're registered with us, the big difference is that you are internationally registered as a coach. So you will be able to work and practice anywhere in the world. We work, our criteria that we used is based on ISO norms. I'm sure you know ISO is similar to the South African SABS, except that ISO is the international standards. And we basically, everything that we do, we audit, and courses that we certify is based on the ISO criteria and norms. 165 countries in the world belong to ISO and subscribe to their norms and criteria. So you would really be able to work absolutely anywhere in the world. Then we've got another register that's called the ADR register, which is more for mediators, facilitators, arbitrators, and we also work in the maritime industry, which is something that I'm sure you're not interested in. On ICR register, we also do hypnotherapists. So once you've done the course, I see Dion's just added the link. You'll see there's a lot of downloads that you can go and read, and it will explain to you exactly how it works. But the way it would, the flow process would be for you to decide, okay, fine, I want to be internationally certified. Then you go onto the ICR website, which the link is given there. You go onto the application form and you complete the application form. It's a very simple application form. It basically asks for your personal details, where you've done the course, and it does ask if you've got a company. You don't need to have a company. You can trade as whatever. It doesn't need to be a company. So if you don't have a company, just put in not applicable under that field and you apply. The form comes through to me directly. I will get the form. I will create a profile for you online. And you have full access to that profile. It's like a little mini website, basically, where you can add your photos, your links, your websites, everything can be added on that. And once I've got your form, I will send you a letter saying, okay, fine, I need the following documents. Now, we certify on 2 levels, and it's very simple as well and very transparent. The first level is associate. That's anyone can apply as an associate level. If you've just started out, you can also apply on an associate level. If you want to apply as a full coach, you need to prove that you've at least got experience. So I'll ask you for either letters, case studies, anything that we will be able to audit to see that you have done the practical work, in fact. So the only difference between the 2 levels is its experience. Once you're on the full level, obviously you'll be able to charge more. We don't dictate, by the way, what you have to charge. That's completely up to you. And Dion and the other experienced coaches will be able to give you guidance on that. We're not going to dictate what you need to ask and what you can or what you can't ask. We don't dictate at all. We just objective there to certify. We don't offer training at all. That's why we work with people like Dion. We believe that they are the experts in their field. We don't want to become involved in that at all. So then you apply. I send you a letter saying, okay, fine, these are the documents that I need. I add them to you and audit them, add them to your profile. You pay the invoice. Now, we are offering a special for Dion students, which I'll send all the details through to Dion as well. There's a once-off fee for auditing the documents, and then there's a fee for membership every year. So you will pay an annual membership fee that is prorated. So, for instance, you join now, you only pay 325 Rand for the rest of the year. Next year, you'll get an invoice for 975 Rand. So in short, that it's a very simple process to follow. It's very simple to apply, and we can assist with anything that you need. If we can't find it ourselves, we speak to people like Dion, other training providers, or other people in the field and find information for you to be able to access whatever you need to do. But that's in a nutshell. If you need to know more, as I say, there's on our YouTube channel, there's where I went into a lot more depth on exactly how the path works and how it is to follow, but that you can watch in your own time. We've got a complaints procedure. For instance, if someone has a complaint against you as a coach, we haven't, by the way, had any of that in South Africa as yet, which is amazing. But if someone wants to complain, they can. And then there's a procedure whereby, we look at it. So everything is set out in that video, very clear to explain how it works. But you are more than welcome to contact me at any time. Dion will give you my cell phone number as well. And I'll explain with the greatest of pleasure if there's any questions, even if it's over the weekend when you think of something. But we are really very happy and blessed to be working with Dion and them. And the quality of coaches coming from this course is amazing. You will also see on your on the dashboard, you've got on your own little website, there is a space where you add in, as I say, all your own details. So what we've seen in South Africa a lot more than in the other countries is that we're getting a lot of queries. So people can search you and try and find who you are and what you do. Yeah, so, when people start searching for a career coach, and that's another something that we offer that some of the other guys don't offer, we have subtypes. So, for instance, if someone is doing the Action Factory Body Coach, we add that to your profile. And if someone is looking specifically for a body coach, that will come up on the feed and people can find you a lot easier, or career coach or whatever it is. So we're finding that people actually do search for coaches in certain fields. And if we differentiate you, then it's a lot easier for people to find you. And a lot of queries at the moment are coming through, which is something that the guys in Holland aren't seeing. So it's quite interesting. And a lot of people are finding work on our website. But as I say, we're not a professional body. It's not our job to find the work for you, although we'll assist wherever possible. I saw a question pop up: why would a full-level coach be able to charge more than an associate coach? And that's purely just because you have more experience. So if you can prove to the person that you're dealing with that you have had 5 years of experience or 74 cases that you've actually assisted, people buy into the fact that they will pay for experience, and you could charge a little bit more. But that's completely up to you. So I'm totally open to questions. In a nutshell, I explained to you how it works.
I've got a question. Does the individual client differentiate between an accredited coach compared to a certified? Because I certify, you technically accredit, if I'm correct, right?
Yeah.
So that's the main difference between the two.
Yes.
The average client, and I'm just talking maybe my own experience, I don't think they really differentiate that much if the person is accredited or not.
No.
But the moment you go into either group work or you want to use it on your CV to get a better job position, or you want to become an executive coach in a corporate environment or something like that, that's absolutely where it has a massive difference.
Completely,
but on a personal level, and I'm actually saying this more for the guys to hear, the moment you've got the bigger body, it's an umbrella body. It's almost like being insured. It's not an insurance policy, but it's a similar concept. It's like something bigger than you is protecting you. It sort of gives you a sense of quality, as if, okay, you know what? I've got this. I'm good enough to be accredited by a larger organization in the world, and it does something to your own levels of confidence.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah? I agree.
But as you've got to end up,
seeing that specifically on the corporate side, they definitely do ask for either a letter of certification or then the certificate, and we do issue both when you've done. So you've got them on your file and on record, but we can always reissue if you've lost it or don't have it anymore. We just resend it again. Yeah. It's not a problem.
And you allow people to use your logo on their
the more the merrier. We're very happy. You can use it on your social media, on your letterheads, on your stationery, your email stationery. So on your dashboard, once you've completed, you will have full access to the logos that you are allowed to use.
And that, guys, for some people, how many of you guys actually went before you decided to come on this course? You decided to, let's just check if these guys are actually accredited. You did that homework with us, and some of your clients will do it with you. So even if they don't necessarily ask for it, when they search for coaches, when they look at your sites, whatever, if you've got the logos on there from international registrars or accrediting bodies, it does add a little bit of weight. So if someone's got to make a decision between two coaches, I'm not sure if I'm going to choose Johnny or Sally. If Johnny's got that logo display, if he's accredited and he can prove it, the probability of the client choosing Johnny is higher. That's just, it's a logical fact. Jonas, can we get your question quickly, and then we'll do the one in the chat from Ghana.
Hi, Teresa.
Okay. Hi, Jonas.
How's it, man? So you were saying there's an annual fee and there's a once-off fee.
Yes. Now, the once-off fee is 2,000 Rand, but because you are with Dion, we give you a 25% discount. So that's what, 1,750 or something. And then you pay the membership fee, yes. But the 2,000 is just a once-off fee. You don't pay that again.
That's annually, guys, not per month.
Yes, annually, hey? Yeah, annually. No, not per month. I would love it if it's per month, but no.
Perfect. Hi, Dion. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hi, Ash.
Thank you, Teresa, for your time with us this morning. And thank you, Dion. I think the question I was going to ask was about the opportunity to actually use the logos of the ICR on our advertising, etc. But the second question is, do we have access through this body to other material, etc., that's out there, for example? Training material, substance, research, or anything like that? Does the organization itself have anything like that?
We not at the moment, no, but we are, look, we recommend obviously the training providers that are on the list with us. Mm-hmm. But we are going to start adding, detail and research materials. We do send out a newsletter sort of every quarter. And then once every quarter, we also have a chat session that's online that anyone can join. You don't have to be a member with us. And where we talk and chat amongst each other, and what we're finding is that a lot of the people that join this are guys that already have had experience. And then the younger people or the people that are in the coaching industry that haven't had the experience yet ask questions, and we help each other and try and help, sort stuff out. We find that a lot of the younger people do take on mentors with some of these people in the group. So we are going to start adding research material and, more reading materials along with the assistance of our training providers on the website.
Thank you, Teresa. Appreciate that.
In other words, we're gonna write it and they're gonna post it.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll get Dion to write it all.
That's correct. Dion's got it. He knows. But you as coaches are more than welcome to send through stuff to us as well. If you write, or that's the other thing for CPD purposes as well, if you write something and it's published, you are entitled to get a point for that. But if you write something, it needn't be published, and you send it through to us, and we go through it, and we find that it's, that it's actually good and meaningful, we will publish it on our social media and our website. So more than welcome to participate and send suggestions. We're very open to that.
Someone asked a question in the chat. How do you guys differ from the ICF, if any? And I think maybe I'm going to allow you to answer that first, and then I'll tell, why did I, for example, decide rather to go with the ICR and not the ICF personally. Okay. But my approach is different to yours. So maybe you can just give that answer first.
The ICF, as I say, we don't want to slate other bodies. The main difference is that they also are not 100% objective from our perspective, in that you also have to do courses with them and maintain doing courses with them that cost you money and time, and they lose the objectivity by doing that. But the main difference really is costing. They're very expensive. For us in South Africa, it's a huge, huge difference. I have drawn up a sort of a comparison between the two, which I'll try and find while I'm talking to you, that just sets out a little bit of what the differences are. But I've done it quite a while ago, so it might have changed. But I'll give it to you. I'm just searching quickly. And then they are very prescriptive in a lot of the instances, which we are not. So we work bottom up, they work top down. And that to us is the most important differences. But you're more than welcome to try them as well. They're also international, but as I said, it's just a lot more red tape and a lot more expensive. So yes, that in short.
From my side, if I can maybe add and sort of explain the reason I made the decision. I am a options opportunity type of guy. I like people that want to move forward purely based on the principle that we can. If people are very problem-based, if they're very old school in their approach. If you look at the coaching industry, if you look at the industry from 20, 30 years ago, it has gone through a massive metamorphosis. The type of training, a good coaching school like ourselves, we change our manuals probably every year, at least every 18 months. We upgrade and we're constantly busy developing and we don't stick to the ways that worked 20 years ago only. I think the world is changing. We should adapt and change as well. So years ago, I did a lot of work for the ICF. I did a lot of their CPD point training for them, and I ran some workshops for them. But even whilst I was doing that, I refused to join them. And I refused to join them because, in my personal opinion, they are old school. Their approach is bureaucracy, and it's an old approach, problem approach, not the, I almost want to say the more effective, modernized coaching processes. And that to me was the major problem. It's not necessarily a good or a bad organization. No. To me, it was measuring the approach between the two. As a trainer, the cost relationship, not a huge difference. As the coach, it does make a huge difference. I personally, I cannot associate myself with an organization if I don't believe in the mindset and the approach and the strategy behind the organization. And that to me is the two. So from a coaching side, ICR, and then obviously on the NLP side, I'm also a member of the ANLP, which I also appreciate and enjoy, and hopefully I can get them on here as one day. But definitely as a coach, ICR, to me, easy decision, guys.
Thanks.
But, anybody want to ask? Someone asked about the CPD point requirements to be part of ICR.
We require 12 points per annum. And as I said, we're not as prescriptive as the other guys when it comes to that. So we, especially now in COVID time, we are a lot more lenient in how we see that. So for instance, a session like today, where it's a refresher, I'm correct in saying that, Dion, eh?
Well, there's three groups here. There's students that are only starting today. There's guys that are halfway through their course, and there's a lot of students that's done the course previously already.
But a session like today would count as a point. If you do a Zoom workshop, it will count as a point. So 1 point is 1 hour. But obviously for reasons, the full day today would not count as 12 points. I mean, but it's a point. But 1 hour, 1 clock hour is a point. So if you write an article, that would count as a point. If you go onto radio and do a talk on NLP or on substance abuse, whatever the case might be, you get a point. As I said as well, if you publish something on social media, you can take that as a point. So it's a lot more lenient than some of the other guys are, especially now, as I say. It's just difficult. How do you get out and go to workshops? But you are welcome. It's also on the list that Dion sent you about downloads. On that, it clearly explains what the options are for CPD.
Can the guys use the CPD points in other organizations? In other words, so someone comes on one of my workshops, they put that forward to you for the CPD points. Does it only benefit them inside of the ICR organization?
At this point, yes. Although we...
It's coach-specific yes. CPD points, yeah.
But we do acknowledge CPD from, say, for instance, if you do something with a Comensa or any other organization, we do acknowledge that as well.
Okay.
It needn't just be with the in-house people.
Yeah. Gerda had a hand up. I did ask to unmute. Gerda, you should be able to unmute. You want to ask?
Hi,
Hi,
Kata.
hi. I do CPD for a lot of other environments. I do CPD for the engineers, project managers, architects, and I also do CPD for the health profession. And I know there's a very rigorous process that you have to go through to have it CPD validated in other areas.
Yes.
But I've been talking, I've been looking at it to have our programs and certain of Dion's stuff validated, because then it makes so much more sense for anyone to do a course with Action Factory because it's CPD validated.
Yes.
But it's a whole process on its own for each of the professional sectors,
Yes.
so to speak. Yeah.
A huge process.
It is a huge process, and that's, yeah, well, good luck. No, it is, but we do acknowledge it because you are, a company that's with us. We do acknowledge it in any case.
I often get students that ask, do I earn CPD points? My response is no, because most people around the world, and Gerda will also agree with this, the moment they hear CPD, they think, well, if I've earned CPD points, I've got CPD points. In other words, it counts everywhere and for everything and every institute. And that's not completely the full truth. So now sometimes we need to explain exactly what it is. I just say no. So theoretically they can earn it inside of the accreditation process.
Yes.
But yeah, to explain that to people, sometimes it takes longer to explain than to
Just say no.
It costs to find another client. So,
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Any other questions? I just want to check the chat, guys. She is here. Use this time.
But yes, I'll type my cell number in here on the chat as well. You're more than welcome to give me a call at any time. And I am hoping to see some of you guys join us.
Now, how often do you do your talks? Because I know at one stage you guys were going to...
we were going to do it once a month.
Okay.
And then what happened was that it was always the same 2 or 3 people that joined. And we're also finding that people are getting, I think it's just an overload of information, and I think they're Zoom tired, if I can call it that.
Yeah.
People are just not really much interested at the moment. So we're doing it once a quarter. Okay. And the next one will be beginning of October. So I'll send out the dates. It's normally the first Tuesday of every month is the ICR one. I'll send out the links. And even if you haven't joined us, please feel free to join the chats, because we really do learn a lot from each other. And we've actually found that we're opening up markets for some of the people that don't know which way to go. And it's just there to jog our minds a bit. And then we can discuss, things like processes and procedures that we have. But it's not, we're not necessarily just keeping it to a theme at the moment.
Okay, cool. All right. Anybody else, guys? If you got a question, is it better to register your own name rather than under your company's name? Can you still use ICR accreditation on company website, and will that be fine?
Yes. So what happens is, if you have a registered, like a company registered with SIPS, then we give your company a profile as well that's linked to your personal profile. So if people search for you or the company, both will come up. If they search for you, your company name will come up. If they search for the company, then your personal name or personal profile will come up. But I don't think it really matters in the long run, because people that are looking for help and assistance, don't worry if you've got a company or not. They just need someone to guide them. I really don't think it's going to make a huge difference. Obviously, when you look at corporates that you deal with, yes, I suppose a company would make a bit of a more of a difference because there's VAT and all those things on the payment side that might make it a bit easier. But in the end, people are buying you the brand. They're buying into who you are and what you can offer, and not onto what the company profile is and if the logo looks nice or not. That you are selling yourself regardless.
Do you guys still do the electronic business cards?
Yes, yeah. So that's also a huge thing that's helping at the moment, is the moment that, you are fully registered with us or registered with us, we offer you an option to do a digital business card for you, which also has all the logos and everything on it. And we also place that on our own social media. And we're also finding that people are getting a lot of work off that, and it looks professional, and it gets a lot of reaction. So we put it on LinkedIn and Facebook, although I think that depending on what you do and which scope you focus on or niche market you focus on, LinkedIn sometimes is a lot stronger than Facebook. But we do offer that as well, and it does have a lot of pull. I wonder I'm just going to give you an example of one.
While you're searching for that, any example, it doesn't have to be one.
I'll just show you an example.
Someone asked, is there extra cost for it?
It's a 300 Rand cost.
Yeah. But it's basically a digital card, guys. Teresa will find it now. It does look professional. How long does it take from registering to final completion?
It can take anything from a day to as long as it takes you to submit the documentation. So what we do ask for, just to give you an idea, we ask for obviously your application form. Then we ask for a police clearance. The reason for that is specifically on the coaching side, it doesn't always make sense that someone that, for instance, as like a DUI is dealing with people that has child-born offences or whatever, is dealing with child coaching. So we do our due diligence there. However, we do have, for instance, a lot of people that do have like DUIs that are substance coaches, and we allow that because we understand where the whole process is coming from. So it's not necessarily a given that if you have a criminal record that we're going to say no. We've got a young guy that's joined us that was a gang member and has rehabilitated himself out of jail, and he's doing well. So we ask for that. If you can't provide us with that, because at this point in South Africa, to wait for a police clearance is taking something like 6 months to a year. So then we ask for 5 letters of recommendation. We ask of proof of prior education. That could be a matric certificate. It could be your university degree. We ask for your coaching certificate with Dion, for instance, and we also ask for your CV, scope-related CV. So I need to be able to verify and audit everything to make sure that everything is in place as per the criteria that we have with ISO. And in turn, we get audited once a year by Lloyd's. So Lloyd's accesses all our files once a year, and they look at it to see whether we are making sure that you are meeting the requirements. And once a year, we get audited as well on that basis. Police clearance, if it's 3 to 6 months, I'm working on 6 months at the moment, validity.
But if, again, as South Africa, we have a problem with police clearance. It's a nightmare.
It is a nightmare. So we're trying to find different ways. In other countries as well, they need to prove public liability insurance. We don't do it yet. It's just too impossible. It's expensive. We're not asking for that. So there are other ways to do the clearances on that.
Okay. All right. I trust that. I think everybody, is there anybody else with a question? Please ask. Let's get it. Once it is expired, we need to send an update.
No, once I've done the audit and it's signed off, no, you don't need to get another one. Okay. I don't know
There
if
we
you,
go.
yeah, so this is one of the we have changed it a little bit. It's a little bit more modern, but I couldn't find one of them now. But this is one of how the coaches digital business cards would look. So you receive it in a JPEG format as well as in a PDF, and then you can use it how and whenever you need to.
And I just want to say mine was the first.
Yes, Dion's was the first. Dion's was definitely the first. I just don't know. I must find it as well to show them. But yes, so you are more than welcome to contact me, as I say, at any time. And if I can help, then I definitely will. If I can't, we'll find a way to make it work.
All right, guys, you can see the website is www.icr
Coachregister.com.
coachregister.com. There is the website showing very, very clearly on the screen. So you can see it right there if you do want to talk to them. So it's ICR and then the minus sign, coachregister.com.
That's it.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, Teresa, I appreciate your time. Is there any last questions for Teresa, or you can unshare your screen, Teresa?
Yeah, thanks. Let me just unshare.
All right. I'm not sure if anybody's got any more questions. All right, then I'm going to land this plane for the guys that just popped in to chat to Teresa. I say thank you, and hopefully you guys join the ICR. If you're not sure on the link, you've got a WhatsApp group with us. Just maybe ask on there, and then what I'll do is I'll post the ICR link if it's asked on the group. I don't want to go and just bombard all the groups with information. So if you want it in your WhatsApp groups, just ask, please send ICR link. And then I can reply by posting the link on there. Is that okay? For those who want it. All right.
Thank you, everyone.
All right.